Thank you for clicking the link. Welcome to From Chaos to Clarity. Secrets every beginner entrepreneur needs for emotional stability. This is the audio version of the book.
That's right.
This book has two different versions. It has a PDF version, which is the digital version, and you have the audio version. This is the audio. You can get the digital just by clicking the link in the description. It'll take you directly to our website, and you can download it from there. Also, if you like, you can get a hat.
That's it.
The hat is also on the website as well. It's all on the same landing page.
Yes.
But this book is 6 chapters filled with genuine, authentic, and just real stories of how in our business and in our personal life, we was constantly just put in a situation where we literally had to focus over our emotions.
That's right.
Because if we did not focus over our emotions, we would have became inconsistent.
That's right.
We would have failed. We would have lost in the season we just came out of.
Oh,
and
for
also
sure.
We would have made bad business decisions.
That's right.
Focusing over your emotions puts you in position to make good business decisions, because when you focus over your emotions, you disconnect from your emotions so you can see the truth of the matter and what decision needs to be made or not need to be made. But with that being said, just click on the link in the description if you want to get the digital file, and let's hop into this audio book right now.
Chapter 1. From Chaos to Clarity. The secrets to emotional stability every beginner entrepreneur needs. The foreword. This book is dedicated to my wife and kids, the fam. This book marks a milestone in our family history and legacy. It is our first of many family business ventures designed to bring you valuable insight, practical understanding, practical application, and practical plays so that you can start strong, stay consistent, and create small wins that will turn into major milestones over time. I cannot go any further without acknowledging and thanking our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who is truly the reason my family and I have matured and developed to this point where we can bring value on this level to so many people, including ourselves. The purpose of this book is to help beginner entrepreneurs create small wins by teaching them how to focus over their emotions with 3 simple steps. Why is this so important? Because all milestone wins, aka big wins, are a collection of small wins compiled over 6 months, 8 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and beyond. Why focus over your emotions? Because that's the only way to stay consistent. No matter if you're happy or sad, joyful or mad, in all states, we must focus over our emotions and stick to the to-do list. Stick to the process. Stick to the play and make adjustments as needed. That's how you stay productive and effective. With that being said, let's dive into what others are saying first. Our journey together starts here. Some social proof. Let's start with some results, some testimonials. I want you to see what's possible when you commit to developing this skill set of focusing over your emotions. For some, the results look like financial wins in business. For others, the transformation shows up in everyday life. Either way, becoming more emotionally stable and consistent creates small wins and breakthroughs. Michael Epps, president of Commonwealth LLC. Tony McCoy was my first coach. One of the things he taught me about emotions was to process moves from where I want to be, not where I am. It took God, patience, and practice. Since then, I've been able to have sit-down meetings with real estate investors doing about $50 million in real estate deals, a founder who did a $1 billion exit, and I've partnered with a private equity firm backed by millions of dollars in capital. It's not about the dollar amount at all. It's about Tony helping me realize how to operate from the point of view of a successful, generous, godly businessman, and not from the $15 an hour warehouse job where I was working at the time. He helped me realize that I wasn't the person I used to be and to stop living out of that old identity. The one that led me into circles and to places I didn't want to be. Instead, he pushed me to make decisions and live with the emotions of the person I want to be, and to be that person now. Not when I get there, but be that man now. Outside of my family, Tony was one of my biggest cheerleaders during that time when I had so much doubt and fear. But he taught me to master my emotions by being a successful businessman now. He asked me, Mike, how would you make decisions, think, and move as a successful businessman? And he kept pushing me to think bigger. Tony has definitely been a godsend in my life, and I thank Jesus Christ for the perfect timing of meeting Tony. He is my brother, friend, mentor, and coach. This has not been written by ChatGPT. Michael E. Shekinah Spears. My review. As a longtime friend of Tony, I have been continually inspired by his videos and speeches. His authentic storytelling and powerful messages have profoundly impacted my personal and professional life. Each video is a treasure of wisdom, providing me with actionable insights and motivation that push me to pursue my goals fearlessly. Tony's ability to connect with his audience makes his content relatable and transformative. I'm grateful for his friendship and the positive influence he has had on my journey. I wholeheartedly recommend him and his family's work to anyone looking for inspiration and growth. Shekinah Spears. So why listen to us? And what qualifies us to teach you? If you ask yourself this question, we respect that 100%. That's why we're going to share with you why. If you haven't asked this question, we still want to give you solid information that clearly answers it anyway. As we are writing this book, I just wrapped up a record-setting month in my career. In 8 years in the car business, I have never, and I mean never, sold only 2 cars in an entire month. In August, I sold just 2 cars total. What did I do wrong? Nothing. I ran the same daily play, the same play that has put me in the top 10 in sales in the state 6 of the last 8 years in Georgia. The same process that helped me sell over 1,700 cars in 8 years. The same system that helped me sell the most cars in dealership history, 36 and a half in 1 month. The same consistency that has allowed me to collect over $100,000 yearly, except one down year in 2022. So how does this apply to you as a beginner entrepreneur? You might be thinking, a car salesman is not an entrepreneur. That's a commission employee. How can you teach me entrepreneurship? And while you have a slight point, and I respect that, here's why my experience applies directly to you. Number 1, I work 100% commission, just like you as an entrepreneur. If I don't sell, I don't eat. There is no hourly safety net. Number 2, I have to build my own structure. No one hands me a daily to-do list or tells me exactly what to do. I have to organize my day, make calls, send emails, follow up with prospects, and keep past customers happy. That's the exact grind of entrepreneurship. And here's the kicker. All of this takes emotional stability and focus. As an entrepreneur, this is what you will be doing daily, or else you don't have a business. You have a hobby that might pay you. For the last 8 years, I've had to put into practice focusing over my emotions. If I hadn't, I would have quit by now, or at least moved to another dealership or brand looking for more money, better sales, or better customers. But that's not the answer. The answer is focus over your emotions. Run the play, make the adjustments, and keep hitting the same spot 1,000 times. That's the answer. Now you might say, okay, Tony, I understand where you're coming from. You have my attention. But your wife has never been an entrepreneur. She was a middle school counselor for 10 years. That's a salary job through the state. How is she qualified to teach beginner entrepreneurs anything? And you'd be right to ask that. But here's the value she brings. If you notice, the title of this book is From Chaos to Clarity: The Secrets to Emotional Stability Every Beginner Entrepreneur Needs. Our focus is on helping you achieve emotional stability and consistency you need as a beginner entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is an emotional roller coaster. Adults are just big kids in how we handle setbacks, disappointments, inconveniences, unexpected delays, and confusion. And just like kids, we often let our emotions dictate our actions. That's why entrepreneurs struggle with consistency. Life's unexpected challenges will never go away, but we can't allow life's issues, inconveniences, disappointments, and confusion to keep causing us to stop and start in our business. If we do, we'll never reach the right now next level. Never collect small wins consistently, and we'll keep watching others succeed at the exact thing we want to do. Her expertise in guiding kids through emotional challenges translates perfectly into helping entrepreneurs build the mental endurance, emotional stability, and focus needed to keep applying what they know, instead of starting and stopping whenever life throws something unexpected at them. Together, our experience as an educator and an entrepreneur creates the focus over your emotions formula. It's not about theory, it's about lived experiences, tested systems, and emotional maturity. With that being said, let's hop, skip, and jump into chapter 1. Chapter 1. How to focus over your emotions. Every entrepreneur has been there. One day you feel motivated and unstoppable. The next you're disappointed, discouraged, and ready to quit. Emotions are powerful, but they don't always tell the truth. If you let them lead, they'll often pull you off course. When I went through my sales drought in August, I experienced several emotional phases. At first, I was optimistic, thinking my numbers would pick up if I just kept running the play. By the 8th, I only had half a car sold. A split deal counts as 0.5. By the 12th, I had another split deal, putting me at 1 car for the month. And I was irritated. By the 18th, I was downright mad. I was frustrated and thinking, God, we have bills and financial obligations. By the 20th, I reached a point of acceptance and kept telling myself, move with a good attitude. Keep playing the game and don't give up so it doesn't get worse than what it already is. That's the problem with our emotions. They can make us quit. They can make situations harder than they already are. They can even drag them out longer than necessary. What starts out as a bad day can turn into a bad week, then a bad month, then a bad 6 months, then a bad year. All because of how our emotions affect our mind. And whatever you think about long enough, you're going to act on it. The whole month I kept fighting. I stayed engaged in the game. I went to work. I put on my best clothes to present myself as a professional and kept grinding. It's okay to feel what you feel. That's human nature. But don't let your emotions rank so high on your priority list that they stop you from playing the game. Don't let them rob you of consistency, effort, and intentionality. Winning isn't always pretty. Sometimes you put 60, 70 hours and bring home 0 sales. Sometimes winning is an ugly test none of us want to take. But we have no choice. And what's the test? It's being put in situations where you feel like you losing, underperforming, or all hype with no results. It's a test of character. It shows you where you really are and where you need to mature. It challenges you not to quit, but to keep playing the losing hand with a good attitude, trusting the results will come. Everything I said sounds real thought leaderish, but it's real. That's what this test is. And I know by now you're saying, okay, Tony, so how do we pass this test? The good news is it's very simple. And if you've been watching the podcast for any length of time, you already know what I'm about to say. Say it with me. Focus over your emotions. Here's how. Number 1, identify your emotions. Recognize what you're feeling and why. Without identification, it is impossible to stay focused on the task and the priorities at hand. Number 2, understand your emotions. Emotions aren't practical or logical. They don't reason from common sense. They react from comfort and selfishness. They want what they want, period. That's why they're not your friend. And number 3, focus. Focus on the task at hand. Focus on the play. Focus on the bigger picture. For me, the bigger picture is knowing I'm developing a priceless skill set. How to focus over my emotions. The truth is, our emotions will always be present. They will always try to speak to us, but it's our job to rise above them and choose to focus on our priorities. Striving to live like this doesn't make you emotionless. It makes you stable and consistent. And emotional stability and consistency is God's will for all of our lives. With that being said, let's take another hop, skip, and jump into chapter 2. Chapter 2, the turn back moment. The universal struggle, one common theme that runs through all businesses that I respect and I love this. We all face similar, if not the same challenges, unexpected setbacks, things that feel unfair, the whole 9. And there are moments in every journey where quitting feels like a legitimate, valid option. I remember when my oldest son was a senior in high school. The football team had something like 22 seniors. But it was the absolute worst football I have ever seen or been a part of. And trust me, I've been on more losing teams than winning ones. But even the losing teams I was on were never, and I mean never that bad. disclaimer, if you're on that team and you're reading this book, this is being used as a teaching lesson. I'm not throwing shade. I'm sharing my son's experience because I went through the pain with him. It got so bad that my son and I stopped talking about football altogether. We would either talk about other things or not talk at all. I tried to encourage him, but when you're losing to teams that are known for losing every game, every year, and you're still losing to them, it's not good. Yes, my son had a role in the losing, but there was only so much he could do. And that's no cap at all. No cap means I'm not lying. But that season taught me something about him. What did it teach me? It taught me he's not a quitter. Even though if he had come to me and said he wanted to quit, I would not have made him suffer through that physical pain and mental pain. Real talk. I would let him walk away. But he didn't. He showed me what was really inside of him. Character. Solid, consistent character that won't quit even when losing is downright painful. He learned how to focus over his emotions, even when in pain and everything looked hopeless. Not easy, but it is doable. And that showed me all the mental and emotional work I had been doing with him over the years was working. The good news, he got his reward in an area we weren't even planning for. He received a full scholarship to Marshall University in track and field. Now some of you might be saying, that's good, Tony, and I learned something from that story. But what about you? I want to hear about your turn back moment. And I respect that. So let me paint the picture better so you can really feel me. As a parent, the last thing you want your child to experience is physical pain that can truly be harmful. My son was getting banged up against real football schools, teams ranked in the top 25 in Georgia and even nationally. As a parent, watching your child go through physical, mental, and emotional pain, and knowing you can't do anything but pray and let them go through it, that's pain. Especially for me, because I'm a helicopter dad. My kids are always close, like they're on my hip. So that experience, that was a turn back moment for me. But I've got good news. I do have my own personal turn back moment I'm going to share with you. 2022 was the hardest, toughest year I've ever had in the car business. Let me break it down. My total bills for that year was $63,000, about $5,200 a month. I made $68,000 that year, about $5,600 a month. On paper, it looks like I had $400 left over every month after paying bills, but that is not how it played out in reality. I was consistently paying my rent 15 to 20 days late, always a month behind on my car note, making random partial payments, $50 one week, $300 the next week, $25 another week, constantly paying my car insurance hours before it expired and lapsed. Now you might say, Tony, your bills was too high. You should have lowered your expenses. And I get that. It makes 100% sense. But that wasn't the real issue. God was putting me through this to test me, humble me, and see if I would quit, jump to another brand with higher volume sales, or if I will focus over my emotions like I had been preaching and teaching online. I know some of you are thinking, That wasn't God. That was your lack of budgeting and overextending yourself. Now you want to blame God for your financial problems. And I get that too, because a lot of people do exactly that. But let me help you understand the man I am. The man you're listening to right now. I go to work every day and actually work. I don't just show up and expect sales to happen. Since I started in 2017, I've run the same daily system. At least 25 calls before noon. A goal of 40 calls per day minimum. That equals 200 calls per week. At a 4% conversion rate, that's 8 appointments weekly, which on average converts to 3 to 4 sales per week. About 16 deals per month. My career average is 18 cars per month. And that's just appointments generated by me, not even counting walk-ins, which also turn into sales. On top of that, I track everything. Sales conversations per day, appointments that show, test drives, deals I work numbers on with committed buyers. I even keep 2 separate folders for short-term and long-term follow-ups. Long story short, I know how to sell cars. I know the practical, trackable, daily steps it takes to sell X amount per week and make X amount of money. So why was 2022 so hard? Because it was God testing me. Testing what? If I was going to focus over my emotions. If I was going to choose to have a good attitude. If I was going to pray for the success of a certain salesman he told me to pray for. And honestly, I didn't want to. Everything in me resisted. But I did it anyway because I wanted to see him win. And he did just that. In 2022, his first full year in the business, he ran up about $150,000. Meanwhile, I was over here struggling. And I was mad. Not at his success, but mad at my situation. Mad at how unfair it felt. Like, why is this so hard for no reason? That was my turn back moment. I thought about quitting so many times. But deep down, I never felt led to quit. I never felt God leading me to transition. So I didn't quit. I stayed. I kept running the play daily. I just outlined for you. I fought every single day to focus over my emotions. Man, it was so hard, y'all. But I didn't quit. And now, here I am, writing this book, growing a podcast, building a business in coaching and speaking with my family, still running the daily play at Volkswagen. This is what happens when you refuse to turn back and quit. You build consistency in your life. Next, I'll show you how to harness these moments to build real consistency in your business. Let's hop, let's skip, let's jump to chapter 3. I'll see you there. Chapter 3. The number 1 non-negotiable. People skills. This is probably my favorite chapter in the entire book. Why? Because I love the truth about people skills. And what's that truth? It's simple. Without people skills, your business and honestly, every area of your life won't go any further than the front doorstep of your house. Why? Because in everyday life, we all have to deal with people. There's no getting around it. No matter if you work remotely, run a hands-off online business, or work face-to-face, at the end of the day, you still have to deal with people to accomplish your goals. And without people skills, you will not, let me repeat, will not be able to accomplish those goals consistently. The currency of all business is people. We are currency to one another. We are resources to one another. How many times have you been able to do something valuable simply because of someone you knew or because of someone they knew? That's the power of people skills. But before we go deeper, let's define what people skills really are. People skills are simply the ability to effectively communicate, connect, and build positive relationships with others. They include listening, emotional maturity, conflict resolution, and collaboration, all of which allow you to influence, inspire, and work well with people in both personal and professional settings. Without this skill set, we go nowhere fast. Here's what happens when we don't develop people skills. Our personal relationships end in unnecessary drama and emotional pain for us and the other person. We keep blaming others instead of taking ownership. We create drama, conflict, arguments, and stress because our emotions are out of control. This leads to loneliness, broken dreams, and financial instability. Without people skills, your entrepreneurial dreams will stay good ideas that never build into anything sustainable. It's very likely your income will stay minimal because you can't hold down a job long enough to build consistency, let alone fund a business. Even your credit score can be affected because poor people skills often lead to poor financial discipline, which keeps your score in the mud. That's why people skills are a non-negotiable. Developing them demands we focus over our emotions, our livelihood, our dreams, our personal relationships, and our businesses all depend on it. Now let me clear this up. Handling people with skill does not mean letting people walk all over you, disrespect your boundaries, or treat you like you're weak. Most of us already know how to clap back, quotation marks. We know how to cuss, we know how to fuss, we know how to yell or win verbal confrontations. That's normal human nature. But that's not people skills. That's just reacting emotionally. When you commit to developing true people skills, you're not making yourself weaker. You're actually making yourself better. Because if you don't learn this skill set, life itself will run over you. That's the truth. There is no winning in life or business without people skills. Period. End of discussion. So let's learn this life skill. The primary key to unlocking the next level of our potential, both as entrepreneurs and people. Why people skills matter so much? Now, here's where it gets good. Let's dive into why people skills matter so much and what happens the moment you commit to practicing them in your daily life. Proverbs 15:1 says, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger." In simple terms, your choice of words, body language, tone of voice, facial expressions, and overall demeanor control every conversation you have. These things can either work for you or against you. In business, people skills are a foundational principle for both short-term and long-term success. When your people skills are sharp, the game changes. Even if you don't see immediate financial results, you'll notice a positive difference in your relationships. And here's a guarantee. If you consistently level up your people skills, your finances will eventually increase too. As you grow in this area, you become a leader. You become a symbol of hope and inspiration. You become an example of success, humility, maturity, and good character. And I promise you this, your target market, the people you're trying to serve, will want to do business with you again and again. This is one of the surest ways to start, grow, and scale your business to its highest potential. People skills are not optional. They're an absolute non-negotiable for success. My real life example. Let me bring you into my work life. One of the main reasons I've been able to stay at the same Volkswagen dealership for 8 years is because of the people skills I use with my managers and the owner. There has been plenty of times I didn't agree with them during a deal. Plenty of times they refused to approve a deal I wanted. Deals that would have put money in my pocket. That's frustrating. But here's the reality. It's never personal. It's just business. Most of us, by human nature, tend to take business disagreements personally. But the truth is, in any real business, it is rarely personal. It's about the money and the details. If we choose to focus over our emotions, we can use our people skills to navigate these situations and keep our relationships consistent. That's what separates amateurs from professionals. Even when you don't benefit financially, a real professional keeps the right attitude, the right perspective, and moves forward. Final thought. My goal for every entrepreneur reading or listening to this audiobook is that if you forget anything else, you remember this. Develop your people skills. This skill set is the road to consistency, longevity, and sustainability in both business and life. Now, let me be clear. You can't please everyone. You will never win over every customer. That's not the point. The point is to keep improving your ability to communicate, connect, and work with people. Because the better you get at that, the better you get at everything else. Now, let's hop, skip, and jump into chapter 4. Chapter 4. The first generation entrepreneur. Many of you reading or listening to this audiobook are first generation entrepreneurs. First, I want to encourage you and say, congratulations. Entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, and that's okay. But for you, I believe it is. Why do I believe that? Because if you can say yes to these 2 simple questions, it is a strong sign entrepreneurship is for you. Number 1, do you really want to commit to learning how to focus over your emotions? Number 2, do you really want to commit to developing your people skills? If your answer is yes and you truly mean it, then my friend, entrepreneurship is for you, because starting and growing a successful business requires you to constantly focus over your emotions and effectively communicate with people. Now that we've established that, let's talk about the main challenges first generation entrepreneurs face and the solutions you need so you don't quit. There are 3 big ones. Number 1, lack of money and capital. Number 2, lack of family support. Number 3, lack of knowledge on how to start and build a business. These are the most common reasons first generation entrepreneurs quit or start and stop over and over again. But today, we're going to deal with them one at a time. You're not quitting on my watch. And if you quit after this, it won't be because you didn't have the information, encouragement, or example. It'll be because you chose to. I can speak to this because I am a first generation entrepreneur too. Challenge number 1, lack of money and capital. Let me encourage you with a few stories. Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, opened his first franchise at 62 years old. Stan Lee was 39 when he created Spider-Man. The average millionaire in America is 61 years old. Each of these people face financial difficulties while building their dreams into a reality. But maybe those stories feel too far away from where you are right now. So let me bring it home. Park it in your driveway, walk into your house, sit on your couch, and flip on your TV to Dragon Ball Z. The Cell Saga to be exact. LOL. As I write this, I just came off the toughest month of my car sales career with only 2 sales. My wife called me earlier to say the landlord put a note on the door, 3 days to pay rent or get out. We had the money, but the online system was down, so we had to drive over an hour just to drop it off in the drop box at the last minute. Meanwhile, car notes a month and a half behind, student loans past due, state and federal taxes unpaid, health insurance 2 months behind, life insurance lapsed, and it was only $48 a month. But I still couldn't keep it up. This was the first time we faced challenges at this level. Normally I average 17-18 cars a month, but this season was different. It was a test, just like I mentioned in the last chapter. Needless to say, I didn't have the extra money to pour into my business. So what did I do? I focused on everything I could do for free. That's why I'm typing this book in the notes app in my iPhone. This is why I use ChatGPT to help me proofread and revise it. It costs me nothing. We record and post our podcast weekly for free. The point is, do what you can for free and do it consistently. When you finish one free task, move to the next one. Keep stacking those small free wins and the money will come. Sometimes little by little. $20, $50, $100, but it adds up. There are too many free resources out here for us to sit still. I challenge you to make the commitment needed so you can become consistent, which will make you productive. Remember this, with no commitment, you will not become consistent. And without consistency, you will not become productive daily. Your dream will remain a very good idea that you talk about, but it'll never become accessible to the marketplace. Now, this is not a call and a challenge to walk into your job tomorrow, kick over the smallest trash can you can find, and say, I quit. Who's coming with me? LOL. That's not what this is. And that's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you to build this in conjunction with keeping your job until you have to transition full time. Remember this: if you can't build a business while working your job, there is a super high probability you won't be able to build your business without your job. Now, that's a topic for a whole nother chapter by itself. And we're not dealing with that right now. I just had to put out a PSA real quick because y'all know how y'all can be. Big LOL. Now, let's deal with challenge number 2. Challenge number 2, lack of family support. Here's one thing to understand. One major reason your family doesn't support you is because they are not your target market. What you offer, the way you talk about it, is not speaking their language. And that's okay. They're family, not clients. For example, I wouldn't be surprised, disappointed, or hurt if my family never reads this book or engages with my offers, honestly. I wouldn't be shocked if 10 years from now they just discovered this free ebook. Why? Because my target market is beginner entrepreneurs who need help focusing over their emotions. Does anyone fall into that category in my family? Yeah, maybe. But the truth is, there are way more people outside of my family who do. The second reason family may not support is perception. They're used to seeing you a certain way. Maybe in their minds, you were the least likely person to ever become an entrepreneur. Start an LLC, build a website, or create a real business. That's just human nature. Once people form a certain perception of you, it takes intentional effort and time for them to see you differently. So don't take it personal. Their lack of support doesn't define your success. Only you are responsible for that. Now, some of you might say, but family should support me. We're supposed to support each other. I hear you, and you've got a point. But let's think through this. Say your family and extended family total is 50 people, and they all support you. That's great. But here's the problem. Number one, they're not your target market. They're buying to support you not because they genuinely need or want your product. That means your business isn't truly sustainable. Number two, even if all 50 buy and refer their friends, there's still a cap if those friends are not your target market either. You'll struggle to repeat consistent sales. So if your family doesn't support you, that's okay. Keep being family, but don't build your business around them. There are more than enough people in the marketplace who want and need what you have. Challenge number 3, lack of knowledge on how to start and build. This might be the simplest to fix. Lack of knowledge is only a problem if you don't look for answers. Here's what you do. Go on YouTube, Google, or ChatGPT, and or get a book that deals with your business. Me personally, I do all of the above and listen to audiobooks. Watch videos and read information from people already doing what you aspire to do. Take free online classes. Now, fact check and apply what applies to you in your right now situation. Not every resource will be accurate, but that's why you research and do your homework. For example, I've saved over 150 sales videos on my YouTube playlist on car sales, digital sales, book sales, podcast sales. I've taken multiple free online classes on how to build an offer, grow on YouTube, generate leads, and more. Some classes I've watched 3 to 4 times just to really absorb the information. When I have money, I also pay for trainings. But here's the key: application. It's not enough to watch or listen and read. You've got to apply the information. Do what you can with the budget you have and do it consistently. That's how you hit your next small milestone. With that being said, let's hop, let's skip, and let's jump into chapter 5. Chapter 5: Choosing a good attitude. Okay, team, let's dig into this topic right here. First, let me say this. Everything I'm about to share with you in this chapter is not easy. I don't have this 100% master myself, but I'm still going to share it because I do have some real results from choosing to have a good attitude. As a beginner entrepreneur, it is so important to make the choice to have a good attitude every day. This is your lifeline. This is what keeps your dreams alive and what helps you complete the task that little by little brings those dreams into reality. It's not just about choosing a good attitude, it's also about maintaining a good attitude. Why? Because things we don't prefer are going to happen. Unexpected issues, inconveniences, disappointments, and setbacks. Choosing to have a good attitude helps you stay solution oriented and prevents you from burning out mentally and quitting. A bad attitude, focusing only on problems and refusing to see the positive, is mentally and physically draining. It causes you to step back or quit. And while quitting is normal human nature, every time you quit, you restart yourself back at zero. It is far more beneficial to keep going, keep playing the game, keep making the necessary adjustments, and keep looking for solutions to your business challenges. Doing this builds the skill set you need to start and grow your business. Being an entrepreneur is about constantly finding solutions to challenges, constantly improving your problem solving skills, and constantly choosing to focus over your emotions so you can stick to the task at hand and collect the next small win. Choosing a good attitude helps you grow through all these situations. And as you grow, you become more valuable, and the market will compensate you for it. Let me use myself as an example. Every challenge I detailed to you in the previous chapters, I am still experiencing them as I write this book. These times have been very challenging, nerve-wracking, and honestly discouraging. But I've committed to having and maintaining a good attitude. My wife has too. Her attitude through all of this has been solid. Has she cried? Yes. Have I cried? In my own way, yes. I didn't cry tears because I was too mad and irritated. LOL. Because it hurts to do the right thing, work hard, have a great vision, and still face issues that aren't even self-inflicted. It can be demoralizing and depressing. But despite all of that, we choose to have a good attitude. We choose to talk more about the positives than the problems. And we stick to our to-do list. What's on that to-do list? Write the book, go to work, run the play, shoot and post the podcast as if everything is okay. There's something I said earlier that I want to repeat as a teaching point. Keep looking for and talking about the positives more than the problems. Why is this so important? Because whatever you focus on expands. Now, it's normal human nature to talk about problems because problems are real. But if you focus only on problems, they expand in your mind. We want to expand the positives instead. Why? Because if you're trying to expand your business, you have to focus on and talk about the positives. Whatever you focus on expands. So let me ask you, do you want your financial challenges to expand, or do you want your dream and business to expand? As for us, we choose business expansion. What about you? What will you choose to focus on? Once you've chosen where to put your focus, the next step is practically applying steps to bring that dream into reality little by little. A good attitude lays the foundation, but it's your dreams becoming a reality that makes the constant fight to problem solve worth it. You already know what I'm about to say. Let's jump, let's hop, and let's skip into chapter 6. Chapter 6, the world of dreams. This chapter is designed to completely inspire you and 100% enlighten you to the fact that there is nothing that you interact with on a daily basis that didn't start out as someone's dream. What do I mean? Let me give you a couple of examples by asking you some questions. What device are you reading this ebook on? Or are you listening to this audio on your device? Either way, the device you're using started out as someone's dream to create. Do you have a favorite place you like to eat? Or a favorite show you like to watch? Who is your favorite artist? Where is your favorite place to shop? My favorite places are Shein and DH Gate. LOL. What's the point? All of these things started out as someone's dream. These places, products, and services didn't dream themselves up and create themselves. People did. People have dreams, not products and services. We create products and services via our dreams and put them in consistent action. Still not inspired? Still not motivated? Still not committed? No problem. I have something for that. Did you know that if you don't, someone else will? Dreams won't stop happening and becoming a reality just because you're not dreaming and consistently following up and following through. The dream is becoming someone's reality and available to the marketplace regardless. Someone told me when I was younger, they said, what if Michael Jordan isn't the greatest basketball player of all time? And what if his shoes weren't supposed to be one of the most popular selling shoes of all time? At the time, I didn't understand. But he said, what if there was someone better than him, but they didn't consistently pursue their basketball dreams? They kept starting and stopping. They were inconsistent, and Jordan was consistently pursuing his dream and following through. This question he posed isn't far-fetched because Jordan did get cut in high school. My question to you is, do you want to continue seeing people do what you do or similar and reaping the benefits? As for me, the answer is no. That's why we've created this book, our podcast, and speaking business. Was this my original dream? No. I wanted to be a professional football player, but I took all those skills I learned in football and brought them to the marketplace via this book, podcasting, and speaking to bring value to you and my family. When it comes to dreaming, it is okay to pivot. That's normal. It is not okay to flat out give up and let your talent be buried. Now, dreaming is easy, but following up and following through consistently as daily life happens, the ups, the downs, happy moments, and disappointments isn't easy. But it wasn't easy for anyone else either. It wasn't easy for Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC. It wasn't easy for Carl Benz, the founder of Mercedes-Benz. Or even your local businessman, like a barbershop owner who is running a successful barbershop. It wasn't easy for them to bring their dreams into reality. No one is exempt from the fight to make their dreams a reality. This is why we teach how to focus over your emotions, because doing this gives you the ability to keep moving forward, stay productive, and remain consistent as daily life happens. This is how dreams are built and brought into the marketplace. I submit this to you. Daily life is going to happen anyway. The next 6 months, 2 years, 5, 10, 20 years is coming no matter if you consistently act on your dreams or not. I'll leave you with this question. How will you and the marketplace benefit from your dream becoming a reality 6 months from now, 2 years from now, 5, 10, 20 years from now? How will you and your kids benefit? How will your customers that will use your product or service benefit? As you answer this question, I'm sure you will find out why you have to go through the fight it takes to bring this dream into reality. With that being said, I'm going to put a bow tie on this book. Our intention with this book was to teach you practical information you can apply so you can complete tasks as daily life happens. Motivate you to get moving. Relate to you by being transparent with our challenges that were not self-inflicted, may I add, as we wrote this book. And to flat out challenge you to commit, because the near future and distant future is going to come and go anyway. And we want you to benefit from following up and following through today. So when that time comes, you will have tasks completed under your belt, confidence gained, and potential turned into reality, ready to accomplish more as God wills. Hey, if you haven't already, grab your hat that goes along with this ebook. This moment actually reminds me of when Nike created Jordan's very first shoe. They didn't know it then, but that one shoe became the start of one of the most iconic brands in history. That's how I see this first ebook and hat. The beginning of something bigger. The first products from what I believe will become one of the most value-giving training companies out there. So grab your piece of history and become part of the team as we build this brand together to infinity and beyond. We encourage you to share this ebook with someone you believe can benefit from this. With that said, we will catch you in the next podcast episode. You can follow us on YouTube and all socials at The Game of Emotions. You can stay connected with us here. YouTube, subscribe to The Game of Emotions podcast. Apple Podcast, The Game of Emotions. And all socials, follow us at The Game of Emotions on all platforms. We are GONE Gone.
Y'all, we just wanted to come by to say thank you for tuning in or for listening to our audiobook From Chaos to Clarity, the secrets every beginner entrepreneur needs to know for emotional stability. We hope you enjoyed the book, the ebook. We hope that you enjoyed the audio version of the book. Make sure you guys, if you guys want to purchase a hat from the podcast, you guys can. We have all different colors, as you can see. And once you click on the link in the description box, you'll be able to see all of the colors that we do provide. Okay. So again, we are so blessed. We're so thankful that you took the time out of your busy schedule to even just listen to our stories that helped us focus over our emotion.
Word, man.
It is. And so again, thank you again for tuning in, and just make sure you tune into our episodes that are released every single Monday. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much again, and we will see you guys soon.
We are GONE.
Gone.